mention it. I mean, top to toe, the quality of that attacking three from Sane, Wirtz, who I thought was really good, had some great touches. Musiala was fantastic coming off that leg break. I mean, they showed their class in the end, but it took some time.
Danny, you mentioned Brazil, and I'm sorry to any Brazilians who are listening, but Curaçao can look at this game and say, hey, listen, we did as well as Brazil in 2014, 7-1. Sorry, Brazilians. I had to.
And Brazil were hosting that particular tournament.
Not nearly as embarrassing, Curaçao. Yeah, you did good. All right, that is 7-1 to Germany. Let's take a break and let's talk about where Germany goes from here. A team who has not gotten out of the group stage the last two World Cups. This certainly is the right way to start this World Cup here in 2026. We'll take a break and talk about that. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Like this.
A quiet residential neighborhood erupts in chaos. Carmine Galante, the feared boss of the Bonanno crime family, lies dead, his cigar still clutched between his teeth.
Masked men walked into Joe and Mary's luncheonette in Brooklyn today and gunned down Carmine Galante, a man believed to be the most powerful mafia chieftain in the country.
The execution sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld and set the stage for one of the most pivotal criminal cases in New York City history. From the minds behind the acclaimed television series comes Law and Order: Criminal Justice System. This isn't a scripted drama. These are real stories told by the people who have lived them.
My father should have been a dead man.
For decades, the mafia had New York City in a stranglehold, with law enforcement seemingly powerless to intervene. But the murder of Carmine Galante marked the beginning of the end. Discover how a group of young prosecutors took on the mafia, and with the help of law enforcement, brought down its most powerful figures. I'm Anna-Sigga Nicolazzi. And from Wolf Entertainment and iHeart Podcasts, this is Law and Order: Criminal Justice System.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. For Germany, a 7-1 win over Curaçao is the way they start their trip here in FIFA World Cup 2026. And now for the Germans in the group stage, they will play against Ivory Coast coming up on June 20th, and then Ecuador on June 25th. Brad, for a team in Germany who hasn't made it out of the group stage in the last two World Cups, they certainly wanted to start this one right. But now the pressure will be on to have good follow-up performances to actually make it further than they've made it since winning it in 2014.
Well, the pressure was on when they didn't advance out of the group, like you said, the last two World Cups. So they made a big coaching change, right? That was the big change for them, a huge shift. And then they leaned on young players. So you see Wirtz, like Danny talked about, and Musiala. I don't think anyone has a problem with leaning on young players. It's very similar for the U.S. men's national team when Pulisic didn't really get the opportunity to be the guy. They didn't qualify for 2018, and then they really had that influx of young talent. So for Germany, they must complete this group, I think, with 3 wins to really get the whole nation on their side. Yes, they're on their side right now, but that's a huge country that's saying, prove it to us. Much like we are for the U.S. men's national team. We have the talent to do it, advance out of the group, get points. Same exact thing for the German team. They have to just prove it. They've got, Danny said, top to bottom, some of the best players in the world, best clubs in the world. There's no reason why this team doesn't have a realistic opportunity to make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, I think they looked lean, they looked athletic, they looked technically strong, obviously against weaker opponent, I know, and the big question will be when they start to play against some of the better teams and better countries throughout the tournament. But, Germany hasn't really been spoken about. We talk about France, and we talk about Spain, and obviously Argentina. England are in that mix. Portugal is maybe could come through and maybe win this. But Germany could be one of those sneaker teams for a team that's won 4 World Cups, right? So they're trying to find their identity under Nagelsmann, who's a youthful coach, 38 years old, the youngest coach Germany's ever had. He likes to play on the front foot. And I think they've got the nice balance, as you said, of guile and technique and youthfulness in that attacking third, whereas a bit of steel in the back. And the nice thing when you play these types of games as well, early on in the tournament, they got guys off the bench. They unloaded the bench, they rested a few guys, but more importantly, they got minutes from other players as well, like Undav, as we mentioned, with a goal and a couple of assists.
I am wondering for Germany, a team that obviously won it just 12 years ago, and you wonder, Brad, Danny, the element of, does this game give you the confidence that this team could make a run and get back to that height of 12 years ago?
I don't think this game highlights, to Danny's point, they have to beat the best teams and they have to show up and show out. The next two games in this group are going to provide a test that they might see in the next few rounds. But if they finish first in the group, they're going to find an easy route to the quarterfinals, which they should take care of business. Like Danny's point, the heat wasn't a factor today, but they will play games where heat's going to be a factor. We played in a game in 2013 in DC in June against Germany, and world-class athletes. They were the best, top 5 country in the world, and we ended up winning 4-3. Why? Because we're playing in the U.S. We're used to playing in the heat. Sometimes those factors can play into it, and it'll be interesting to see how they perform after this.
I think what's really interesting for this group for Germany, it sets themselves up really well for the knockouts because they play different styles of play. They play an African team in the Ivory Coast, athletic, strong, fast. Then they play a South American club who have performed very well in qualifying in Ecuador. Curacao was kind of the one they had to take care of. They obviously have gone through European qualification. So just get himself prepared for a really strong run. They're playing against different types of teams that will have different types of challenges they'll all have to face.
Brad, a few moments ago, you mentioned the United States men's national team. Let's take a break. We'll come back and update where they sit. They obviously played Paraguay just a couple days ago. We'll tell you a little bit more about where the United States men's national team are and where they're going. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Take a look on... Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox One, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox One. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Jackson Feltz here with former United States men's national teamer Brad Evans and the national champion and All-American at North Carolina, Danny Jackson. Today, we just saw Germany take down Curacao by a score of 7-1. Coming up here in just about 40 minutes, we will have Japan versus the Netherlands in Group F. That is a highly, highly anticipated matchup. We'll have it on iHeartRadio. Well, the other big result that we have seen in the last few days, in the first few days of the World Cup, was the United States men's national team. They entered the tournament on home soil for the first time in 32 years and made quite a statement, Brad, with the 4-1 win over Paraguay.
They were incredible on the night. I got the opportunity to be down at the pier, to be amongst the fans. And that was energy I've never experienced before. The last time the World Cup was here was 1994. I missed the roster in 2014. So this was my first opportunity to be involved and to be in the mix. And I was beyond elated to see what this city showed up and showed out. And I know that every city across this country is doing something amazing. And it really shows the pride that comes into this tournament. but there were jerseys from everywhere around the world. But at the end of the day, the United States showed up in Los Angeles and really put it to Paraguay. And I couldn't be more proud to watch that team because there were a lot of questions asked about them. And I did myself. Ziggy Schmidt used to tell us you can have one piano player. The rest of us have to carry the piano. My worry is that there were too many of the guy on the team and the others weren't willing to do the dirty work. But you saw it every first ball, every second ball, committing fouls at the right times. Anything you had to do to get a result, they did on the night. And look, sometimes things go your way. Balogun kind of closes his eyes and finds the top corner. Brilliant goal. And then at the end, like you said, the icing on the cake with Reyna, just outside the boot, cool, calm, collected. That's what you need out of this group. And to get that one off your back, you take a breath, you come here to Seattle, and you hope to put in another performance just like that against Australia.
Yeah, it was a game of two halves somewhat. They came out the blocks flying. They did what they needed to do. They released that pressure. We talk about energy and the expectation. Are they going to wither under that expectation? They did not. I mean, it's been the most dominant performance in the World Cup so far against a team in Paraguay who were looking to try and spoil their show. They were going to come in, block out the U.S., put 11 men behind the ball, the width of the 18-yard box, and the U.S. used the outside flanks very, very well. They split the lines incredibly well. McKennie and Pulisic were some of the players who really stood out, of course. Pulisic going off at halftime for precautionary measures. But we talk about big-time players needing to step up in big-time moments. Yeah, you do need people to dig the trenches and fight the fight. But you need people to come up with a bit of magic in a World Cup. And what was really good and positive for the US is they get their number 9, Balogun, getting a couple of goals. You need someone to score goals to advance. But also the second half, they had to withstand a little bit of Paraguay pressure. They had to manage the game throughout the end. And then obviously scoring that goal at the end, it sends all those fans away happy. The biggest thing is the front page of the newspaper was something extremely positive. That's going to galvanize the host country now. That, to me, is what this tournament needed. They need the U.S. to come and dominate that game, and that really sparked what will be a great couple 4 weeks to come.
You saw parties all around the United States with just thousands upon thousands of fans. Quite the atmosphere that they had around the entire country for USA Paraguay. And now the attention turns to Australia coming up next Friday. It will be a noon Pacific time kickoff and 3 Eastern kickoff at Seattle Stadium for the United States against Australia there in the second round of the group stage. But for this morning, it was Germany with a 7-1 win over Curacao. And now we turn our attention to one of the highly anticipated games of the group stage, Netherlands against Japan. We will start to look ahead to that one, which will be here on iHeartRadio. We will look ahead to that. Coming up, you're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox One, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox One. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
You're locked into a lot of things you can't change. Weather, traffic.
Hey, stay in your lane.
Your wireless carrier's latest price hike. But you can unlock a better way. Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. Switch to the $25 a month unlimited wireless plan. No contracts, no price hikes, and you keep your phone. Stop being locked into their games. Unlock the savings at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line of payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months on the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
Do you know the symptoms of moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, in adults with obesity? They may be happening to you without you knowing. If anyone has ever said you snore loudly, or if you spend your days fighting off excessive tiredness, irritability, and concentration issues, it may be due to OSA. OSA is a serious condition where your airway partially or completely collapses during sleep, which may cause breathing interruptions and oxygen deprivation. Learn more at don'tsleeponosa.com. This information is provided by Lilly, a medicine company.
You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. The first game of the day is in the books here in this 4-match day here in FIFA World Cup 2026. Germany, Curacao. It was a true David versus Goliath. Curacao stayed in the game for nearly 40 minutes, but then Goliath took over and Germany ended up with a 7-1 win. And now we look ahead to the second game of the day, and it is extremely highly anticipated. Coming out of Group F, we have Netherlands and Japan. For Japan, their current FIFA world ranking is 18, and the Netherlands are at 8. This will be a powerhouse game. And Brad, the videos that we're seeing coming out of Arlington, Texas, just outside of Dallas Stadium, it is an incredible atmosphere building.
And it will be. Japanese fans show up through and through. And I just remember 2002. That was my kind of first introduction in watching the Asian setting, Asian football coming onto the scene, and just being blown away. And what I love is the discipline style. That's how I always love to play. I love the discipline style. Everyone do your job and do it well, and we're going to find success. That's how this Japanese team is going to play. And I'm really excited for this one, as you can tell. But as we look at this Japanese team, I think they're a dark horse, a true dark horse in this tournament, beating Germany and Spain in 2022. Who would have thought? The Japanese did. They knew it. They have top players playing all throughout this world, very technical, very fast, and discipline.
Yeah, beating Brazil and England in the run-up to this World Cup. They've won 6 straight building up to this particular game. And you're right. I mean, they are gone up the FIFA rankings quietly. It feels like they always kind of fly underneath the radar, but technically they're very sharp. I think they've got good head coaches through. I mean, Arsene Wenger has had time over there years and years ago before moving back over and obviously doing such an amazing job at Arsenal. But for the Netherlands, this is probably the most decorated team never to win the World Cup. Go back to 1974, likes of Cruyff and Neeskens. Total football is what Cruyff developed and designed from that team, pushed it through to Barcelona. That's where you got the Messis of the world building into this type of structure that Guardiola kind of built through. Ronald Koeman, the head coach of the Netherlands, also managed Barcelona. They've had fantastic players. The question is, who's going to score the goals for Netherlands in this World Cup?
But speaking of goals, 12 years ago to the day yesterday, the Flying Dutchman goal in the 2014 World Cup as well. So we're just past that. This will be the first game of FIFA World Cup 2026 for Netherlands, and it will face off against Japan. An extremely big match coming up. Stay with us here on iHeartRadio. You can access every single FIFA World Cup 2026 game on iHeartRadio. Very much looking forward to this one. But for our first game of the day, once again, it is a score of Germany 7, Curacao 1. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
This has been a presentation of the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. All rights to this broadcast are reserved. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of this game without the express written consent of iHeartRadio, Fox, and FIFA is strictly prohibited. Thank you for listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on the iHeartRadio network. And you can hear all Fox's broadcasts of FIFA World Cup 2026 matches live on the World Cup channel on the iHeartRadio app.
Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts. Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
That's entertainment. I'm Jennifer Bolsoni.
Such a pressure kick, and he made it look so easy.
Welcome to the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio is proud to present today's featured match, brought to you by Fox One, your audio home for FIFA World Cup 2026. iHeartRadio.
Welcome back to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. We are finished with the first group stage matches for groups A through D. Today we are kicking off groups E and F with Germany, Curacao. That 7-1 win for the Germans now in the rearview mirror. We turn our attention to Group F for the first time, kicking off in 30 minutes with Japan and the Netherlands. I'm your host, Jackson Feltz, and I'm alongside two-time MLS champion and former United States men's national team player Brad Evans, plus All-American and national champion at North Carolina, Danny Jackson. We are counting you down to kickoff for the next half hour. Gentlemen, let's begin this broadcast today by kind of taking a look at the first few days of this World Cup. Brad, obviously, United States men's national team here in USA, making many headlines with the 4-1 win over Paraguay. Is that the dominant thing that stands out to you from the first few days?
Yeah, certainly. There've been pretty low-scoring games throughout this World Cup, and that was certainly the highlight. Danny pointed that out earlier. You know, the 4-1 scoreline is going to speak to volumes. Realistically, it's probably a 3-1. Yes, you get the goal in the 93rd minute, but there's been some serious battles, and that's what happens with these World Cups. Is Landon Donovan's point earlier in the broadcast, he's saying this is really the only time some of these teams will play against each other in a tournament that matters for 4 years. And maybe if you don't see them then, it's 8, and then it just multiplies from there. So you don't know what you're going to get out of these teams. The first game is all about getting your composure, getting your feet on the ground, taking a breath, taking in the moment, and getting used to your surroundings. And once you do that, you tend to get into your rhythm, especially for the big teams. But this matchup today, Netherlands-Japan, is probably the marquee matchup, save for the Morocco-Brazil. You're expecting two powerhouses in Brazil to have a fantastic outcome, to play out of their minds. But then Morocco shows up, and they're sneaky on the scene. Japan, the same thing. They're sneaky on the scene. And the Netherlands, yes, a traditional powerhouse, but they're going to cause problems today.
Yeah, the early days and weeks of group play is most fascinating. All the fans are on shore. All the fans have traveled. All the fans have expectations of glory and success. And obviously, some of the big teams have to handle pressure as well and expectations. Can they do that? The U.S. certainly did that in their particular game. Brazil took a while to get going. Morocco came out the blocks very, very quickly. I think a 1-1 tie was probably the right score into that. Canada got themselves off the mark as well, albeit with having to claw out a 1-1 tie against Bosnia-Herzegovina. And, of course, Mexico started off the tournament with a 2-0 win and got their job done, getting 3 points and kind of settling them in to group play. But for me, it's about the fans, about the smaller nations. Curacao, 156,000 population against 84 million population. Germany, 4 times world champs. And it was a battle in the first quarter of that game up to that first hydration break. And then, of course, last night, Haiti, Scotland was just color and energy and beer and just happy times. And that's what it's all about. It's just the passion and the glory of getting a result on the Scotland side, and then huge respect for Haiti to play the way they did. They gave everything, and they were a whisker away, an inch away from that one-header towards the end of the game to getting a result as well.
The national anthem for Scotland in that game last night at Boston Stadium it gives you chills. One of the absolute coolest sights from the World Cup so far was that national anthem. Spectacular. And you did a great job, Danny, with the rundown of the results. Let's take a look at the standings. Our standings update is brought to you by the Home Depot. Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 setup. Build it like Beckham from living room to lawn with the Home Depot. And take the fast free delivery assist. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter, subject to availability. As Danny mentioned, both South Korea and Mexico getting wins there in Group A. They are out on top with Mexico's goal differential of +2, just at the top of their group in A. For Group B, everybody had a 1-1 result. So for Switzerland, Canada, Qatar, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, they all have a single point. In Group C, Scotland leading that group with 3 points after that win over Haiti. Morocco and Brazil's 1-1 result has them both at second and third. And then in Group D, United States leading that group with 3 points and a +3 goal differential. Australia second after they beat Turkey by a score of 2-0 last night in Vancouver. And then the first match of the day, Germany with the 7-1 win over Curacao. They put themselves up at the top of Group E with 3 points. Ecuador, Ivory Coast to come later. Gentlemen, let's turn our attention to today's match. And of course, Netherlands, Japan, 2 nations that are traveling extremely well to today's match at Dallas Stadium. Japan is stationed in Nashville, Tennessee. They are stationed at the MLS club Nashville SC's training center. The Netherlands, meanwhile, are stationed in Riverside, Missouri at the NWSL club KC Currents training facility. And where I want to start today, gentlemen, is all of the videos coming out from Arlington, Texas, next to Dallas Stadium right now. We get a sight of inside Dallas Stadium. Brad, Danny, the atmosphere, the traveling nations. This is going to be one of the coolest atmospheres we see in all of the World Cup.
It's incredible. It's a sea of orange, and there will be blue there as well, right? The Japanese fans are going to show up, and for the Netherlands population, this is the end-all be-all, much like all the countries. But I remember going over when I was 15, and we got to train at the Olympic Training Center in Holland. And I had never seen anything like that. Small kid from Arizona, and then stepping into this environment where soccer means everything. And it really changed my perception on what football could be. And now I realize it. I see the passion. I had a Dutch jersey because that made such an impact on me. I love the style of play. And so for me, a lot of heroes have come out of Dutch football, and it really just brings back fond memories. And I'm so excited for everyone that's able to watch this game to just check it out, because the crowd is going to be incredible, and it's going to be sea of orange, sea of blue. But most importantly, you're going to be able to watch really, really high quality soccer.
Yeah, 2 brilliant teams with iconic history, especially the Dutch. You go back to, as you mentioned, Cruyff, Neeskens from the 70s, total football, and then you kind of move forward in the 88 European Championships, that famous goal, if you haven't ever seen it, for Marco van Basten, the 88 European Championship, one of the best goals you'll ever see, and he was in that team with the likes of Hullet. And then you move into, Bergkamp and that iconic goal he scored against Argentina in the 98 World Cup, when he hated to fly, so the fact that he didn't have to get on a plane, he could drive to that particular World Cup in France, and he scored that iconic goal. And you go all the way through to the likes of Schneider as well. So, what comes with expectations comes some pressure. They are the team that haven't won a World Cup. They've lost, I think, in 3 World Cup finals. And they have a team now with 8 players in that starting lineup who have Premier League experience, who play in the Premier League. And they have a coach in Koeman who won a European Championship, a Champions League with Barcelona in 92, I believe. He scored 250 goals as a defender, did Ronald Koeman. So really brilliant, iconic player. Now he's in his second stint as the Dutch national team coach. He's going to set his stall out. He's kind of scrapped the total football idea. He's like, let's be disciplined, be compact, and lean on some of our big players to score goals.
Danny, you mentioned commuting to World Cups and getting to World Cups. One of the best stories we've seen of World Cup 2026 is the fact that the Netherlands have brought the iconic double-decker orange bus. They brought it over on a boat to the United States, and it has made its way to the training facility in Missouri, and it has now made its way down to Dallas as well.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So they are bringing out all the stops. So there's no excuse at the end of this thing. They can't look back and say, what if we brought the bus over? They're throwing out everything in
they've
this
got
one.
the ugly bridesmaid dresses in full orange.
Well, gentlemen, let's get to today's game. Today's lineups are brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Let us begin with the Netherlands and what they are throwing out there in the starting lineup today, Danny.
Verbruggen starts in goal for Koeman. It's a back four of Dumfries, the marauding right back. Van Heck, Van Dijk, the captain of Liverpool, probably arguably the best centre-back in the world right now. And then Van der Ven, who comes off saving Tottenham, plays on the left-back role. Gravenberch, De Jong, Reinders are your three in midfield. And then Somerville, Marlon, and then Gakpo, your attacking three.
Brad, what is Japan doing today?
Suzuki will start in goal. You've got Ito, Taniguchi, Watanabe. You've got Nakamura in the midfield. Four across the midfield. Sano, Kamada, Don. And then you play two and then one. Ueda's going to be your point man. That's the guy right now. And Maeda and Kubo underneath. But what's interesting about this lineup, 5 Dutch League experienced players. So they won't be unfamiliar with what's about to come their way. In Holland, every team plays the same. And so these Japanese players are going to have a little bit of insight to that group. Kubo plays for Real Madrid, Ito at Bayern Munich. So a lot of top talent. Don't count out this Japanese team.
We will start to break down the game coming up. I will tell you on the injury front for Japan, absolute heartbreak. Their captain, Wataru Endo, is out. The 33-year-old defensive midfielder who had 72 caps with the Japanese national team. He's been dealing with a lingering foot injury. He had surgery on it. He just hasn't been able to get back. And just recently, just a week ago, he decided to pull himself out of the World Cup. And in addition to that, he announced his retirement from international football. Their captain, Wataru Endo, is out for this tournament, and also striker Machino has been called up to replace Endo. They have a captain taking his place, but a big hit there for the Japanese national team. Danny, you mentioned this in the starting lineup. De Jong and Verbruggen are in the lineup. They were both dealing with injuries. For Memphis Depay, he's been managing an ongoing hamstring injury. He starts on the bench today for the Netherlands. We'll take a break and start to break down Netherlands, Japan in one of the highly anticipated matches of FIFA World Cup 2026. We'll begin breaking it down next. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
I'm John Walzak, host of the new podcast, Missing in Arizona.
And I'm Robert Fisher, one of the most wanted men in the world.
We cloned his voice using AI. In 2001,
police say I killed my family.
3 dead bodies, 2 were children.
Slit the throat of all of them.
First mom, then the kids.
And rigged my house to explode.
In a quiet suburb.
This is the Beverly Hills of the valley.
Some house just exploded and ignited on fire.
Before escaping into the wilderness.
Leading police on a massive manhunt in rugged terrain.
There was sleet and hail and snow coming down.
It was the biggest manhunt in Arizona history.
They found my wife's SUV.
Within 50 feet was a cave.
You could be buried under rockfall, and you cut a skeleton leaning up against the wall.
And my dog flew.
All I could think of is seeing the sniper me out of some tree.
But not me.
Police believe he is alive and hiding somewhere.
Can you disappear and change your name and work for cash? Yeah, you can.
Fisher is still very much a priority with the FBI. He's on the 10 most wanted list.
Listen to Missing in Arizona.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now. iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
Chicago, 1989.
White victim, female, pretty, wealthy.
A white woman's murder shocks the city. A black man from the projects comes forward with information about the case.
He says the police are his friends.
But out of nowhere, he goes from star witness to prime suspect.
And then that's it. They turn on him.
The system is hungry for a conviction. Lee Harris is sentenced to 90 years.
I got 90 years for killing somebody I have never seen.
Behind bars, Lee finds an unlikely ally in his cellie, Robert. The pair are like chalk and cheese. There's no way their paths would ever cross on the outside. But as a fellow inmate, Robert sees through the lies and vows to do the unthinkable. Clear Lee's name.
This is a prepaid collect call from an inmate at Pontiac Correctional Center.
And if you're with me, you're golden. I'll take care of you.
Oh, I'm gonna be with you. You stuck with me for life.
Together, they wage a 20-year war against Chicago's darkest corners. Corrupt detectives, jailhouse informants, an entire system built on fear. This is the Crying Wolf Podcast, a story of two men bound by injustice. A friendship forged where hope is almost lost. Of a city haunted by its secrets. And the quest for redemption, no matter the price. Listen to the Crying Wolf Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Jackson Feltz here alongside the former United States men's national teamer Brad Evans and former All-American and national champion at North Carolina, Danny Jackson. We have one of the highly anticipated matches of the group stage of this World Cup here in front of us with Group F. It is Netherlands facing Japan. For Japan, they are currently ranked by FIFA at 18th in the world. Recently with friendlies, they beat Iceland 1-0. They also, earlier in March, picked up a couple 1-0 wins over Scotland and then a very impressive 1-0 win over England. For the Netherlands, their current FIFA ranking is 8 globally. They beat Norway 2-1 in March, a 1-1 draw with Ecuador. And then recently, though, the results have been a bit shocking. They lost to Algeria by a score of 1-0 on June 3rd, and then they only beat Uzbekistan by a score of 2-1 there on June 8th. This is a very big matchup. Brad, Danny, the keys to this match, you can go on for a while for what should be a very exciting game ahead.
Yeah, for Japan, I think it's about maintaining possession. I really do think if you're going to play against the Netherlands, that is a tactically sound team that have pretty much played the same exact way since they invented Dutch football. And there's a reason for that. It's really successful. But their coach, Miriyasu, has been there since 2018. That was a big change for them. And so they are consistent with the way that they want to play. They have a lot of experience up top. I mean, you look at Ueda, 100 games for Feyenoord, Maeda, 190 at Celtic, Kubo, 165 at Real Sociedad in La Liga. These players are no slouch. There's a reason why they're playing at the top teams in the world, and they have the experience that they do. But you must take advantage of your opportunities. You're going up against a Dutch team with Van Dijk in the back, where set pieces, any Dutch team in history, set pieces have always been part of their DNA. And the Japanese, not so much. So they're going to have their work cut out for them, because you know that the Netherlands are going to be on full cylinder with that crowd. They're going to be flying today.
Yeah, the question is, can they get past their own barrier, getting past the round of 16? They've never done that, even as hosts in 2002. I think Matoma's going to be a big loss for them from the creative standpoint. Who's going to step up? Is Kubo or Maeda going to step up on that creative standpoint? Torn hamstring, I think a month or so ago, the Brighton attacking midfield player. But I think for Holland and the Dutch, we talked about it, they need to step up now. They've built a team which they haven't had for a number of years that has got depth and has got strength, especially in the midfield section. I think Gravenberch, Liverpool, De Jong, Barcelona, Reinders, Man City is the engine of that team. Can they get things going? Can they release Somerville, who's an exciting player, who's a Leeds United player, and then went to West Ham? Disappointment of getting relegated. He'll want to step up to the world stage and put himself in the shop window of where he should go. And I think Van Dijk has talked about it. He wants to win something for his country. He wants to be at the same pedestal as the Van Bastens, as the Koeman, the head coach, as the Bergkamps of the world. He has the ability to do that. He's the best centre-back in the world. He's had an indifferent season with Liverpool, but I think he's the player, especially from set pieces, that can stand up and be strong.
That was going to be my next comment, is Van Dijk. He has to be the man today. And you said it, at Liverpool, stop and start. When we watch the games all season long, sometimes it looks a little bit lax and almost like the shoulders are down. It wasn't the same performance that we've seen from him in the past, that commanding presence. when we watched the Curacao-Germany game, Curacao had a very clear path. They were going to get the ball outside. Winger from center mid was going to take the space on the wings. Ball was going to come in behind, and they were going to play a very specific style. The problem was they didn't mix it up. They didn't have anything through the middle of the park. I think that will happen with Japan today, too. They know that Van Dijk's in the middle. They're not going to play in long balls. He pretty much cleans up anything. But if he slips up just a little bit, I think Japan's smart enough that they're going to go at him and make him defend in wide areas and pull him out of position. That's how Japan's going to find success.
Yeah, they'll remember that 2010 game where the Netherlands beat Japan 1-0. Then they made it to the final, eventually lost to Spain. The Netherlands haven't lost a home opener in the World Cup since 1938. So, I think, tradition, heritage can be a weight sometimes, as it has been with expectations for the U.S. as the host country, expectations we talked about with Germany and some of the players and the success they've had. Can they find their own identity under Ronald Koeman, who has obviously been a superstar in his own right as well? But the biggest thing, as we've talked about it slightly, we'll see it and we'll hear it, the fans, the orange. I mean, whether it's Olympic Games, World Cups, European Championships, they travel and they travel thick. And it's going to be an amazing sight. The Hirawa Reds were in Seattle for the Club World Cup, and it was sitting behind the south end, right behind the goal. Brilliant vantage point from a camera standpoint, just bouncing and moving in sync. You talked about it, Brad. Discipline. Discipline's not just on the field, but it's in the stands as well. They are perfectly aligned. It's going to be a fantastic game.
It certainly will. We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff between Japan and the Netherlands. We'll get one more break. We'll come back with our players to watch and the history in the World Cup between these two great countries. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
There's a full
iHeart. Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts. Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox One, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox One. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months of the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
Do you know the symptoms of moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, in adults with obesity? They may be happening to you without you knowing. If anyone has ever said you snore loudly, or if you spend your days fighting off excessive tiredness, irritability, and concentration issues, it may be due to OSA. OSA is a serious condition where your airway partially or completely collapses during sleep, which may cause breathing interruptions and oxygen deprivation. Learn more at don'tsleeponosa.com. This information is provided by Lilly, a medicine company.
You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Jackson Feltz alongside former United States men's national teamer Brad Evans and the All-American and national champion at UNC, Danny Jackson. We have the highly anticipated group stage match in Group F between Japan and the Netherlands coming up in 7 minutes. For Japan, 8 appearances in the World Cup, the first coming in 1998. Japan's best World Cup finish is the round of 16, which has happened 4 times, 2002, 2010, 2018, and then just recently in the last World Cup in 2022 as well, where they were in the group of death with Costa Rica, Germany, and Spain, and they were spectacular. They topped their group with wins over Germany and Spain. Only Costa Rica beat Japan in the group stage. Meanwhile, for the Netherlands, they've been in the World Cup 12 times, the first coming in the second ever World Cup in 1934. They have been runners-up at the World Cup 3 times, as Danny mentioned, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They were back-to-back World Cup finalists in 74 and 78, and then again in 2010 when Spain won the title. Gentlemen, let's get to some players to watch, which are brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Brad, I'll start with you with our players to watch for Japan, Netherlands today.
Yeah, up top, Ueda. I think his goal-scoring prowess, he can show it today. Now, yes, he's going up against arguably the best center back in the world, but if he can show that today, that will solidify him as a premier striker in the world. And for this game specifically, Sano and Kamada as defensive mids. Against this Dutch team, you have to have a massive performance. Years ago, we played in Ajax Amsterdam Stadium against Holland. Somehow we won 4-3, but Michael Bradley had just an incredible game. He was a machine at defensive midfield, covering ground. And that lineup, a 3-4-2-1, they're going to have to be all over the place. They're going to have to carry space into wide areas, dropping deep, maybe dropping back as a center back. They're going to have massive games for Japan.
Yeah, I think the obvious for Holland, we've talked about him already, is Van Dijk, obviously from set pieces, dominant player, as we mentioned, fantastic leader. But for me, it's Somerville. And I'm going to talk about Somerville because he got relegated with West Ham. He's a former Leeds United man, my club in England that I support. He's crafty, he's sharp. This is the stage that he's been waiting for. He's kind of been sitting slightly off to the side in terms of the teams and the coverage he gets. With Depay out, with Simons getting his ACL injury a few months ago, the creativity in the attacking third is going to land on Somerville, I believe. The Dutch don't have a key number 9. If they had a Van Basten, they'd be right up there as one of the very big favourites for this World Cup. I think Somerville is a player that can add some goals and create goals and fill the void to get the Dutch through to the knockout rounds.
We see the immense crowd right now at Dallas Stadium where this match is being played. The first 15 minutes is interesting to me, Brad, Danny. Really quickly, the intensity that's going to be probably coming from the Netherlands side and how Japan works against that.
Well, neither of these teams are going to sit back and just absorb pressure. Both of them are going to high press and not allow anyone to get into a rhythm. First 15, yes, off they go. You may see an early goal in this one as well as both teams press. And we haven't seen the giveaway in defense just yet in this tournament, which is smart. Teams are thinking, I got to clear the pressure. But with these two teams, they both like the ball. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I think the fans, the heat's not going to be an issue. It's inside the big stadium there in Dallas. But I think for also set pieces are going to be key. The stature and the size of the Dutch. Can they execute in set pieces? That would be a good way for them to get on the board.
Japan, Netherlands, they kick off coming up next. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
You've been listening to our pre-match coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Fox's play-by-play coverage of today's match is coming up next.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
Some days are just made for good food and great conversation. I'm Ina Garten, and on Be My Guest, being a guest means sharing recipes, stories, asking questions, opening up, and eating something delicious together.
The best scone I've ever had.
That's when things really happen. This season, I've invited Tina Fey.
Was a real education and getting in front of a real audience who will let you know whether that was funny.
Christine Baranski.
And then the Gilded Age. I mean, I can't write this any better.
Itzhak Perlman.
Classical music, that's where we came from.
The bass.
Exactly.
It's like learning how to make a roast chicken.
It humbles you.
And Daniel Roseberry. We cook, we eat.
Is it an option that you're allowed to eat custard for breakfast? Dreams do come true.
And we talk about what keeps them going. Listen to Be My Guest with me, Ina Garten.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
iHeartRadio Did You Know? Presented by iHeartRadio. You know, what you're listening to right now. Did you know that iHeartRadio not only lets you listen to all your favorite AM/FM stations locally and nationwide for free, but iHeartRadio lets you build your very own radio station that plays nothing but the music you love. It's called Favorites Radio, and it's a collection of every song you've ever thumbed up. Hear a song you love on live radio, thumb it up, and it's added to your favorites radio station. Hear a song while listening to artist radio or a playlist, thumb it up, and we add it into your favorites radio station too. That's all you have to do to create your very own personalized station. It's easy, and the best part, Favorites Radio is free. Create your own private station or share it with friends to show off your great music taste. It's entirely up to you. All you do is thumb up the music you like, and we'll do the rest. Look for your own favorites radio station featured in your library in the free iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio, #1 for music, radio, and podcasting, all in one app.
iHeartRadio. Follow all the exclusive World Cup action on iHeartRadio.
Great with the attacking players. Now the best part of this team is the defensive unit. That's probably the biggest back four in this whole competition. But you're right, Fletch, that orange is a thing of beauty.
So this one here in Dallas is fascinating. The Netherlands are fancied by some to win the World Cup based on the undoubted talent in the squad. Japan, many people's dark horses in the tournament. It's an early chance to see just how good the pair of them are, and an early chance for one of them to get a significant result. The big difference between the two, it's a back four for the Dutch and a back three for Japan.
Yeah, and it's a back three and it's a counter-attacking formation, and when they get it, they play forward very quickly, just like this.
So here's the first opportunity for Japan to threaten with Dyson Maeda. Breaks now for Crescencio Somerville, who was in superb form for West Ham before he got injured, and he hopes his form can return here. There's the first bit of defending for Taniguchi, who's in the centre of this Japanese back three.
This is going to be a brilliant game, Fletch. I can see it already. Both teams want to attack. And Japan will be very happy to sit in this shape. This formation, they can counter-attack from anywhere. They're very compact, and when they get it, they play forward very quickly.
A couple of bits to tell you about at this stage. 5 games since Japan last conceded a goal. They've come into the World Cup finals in fine form. They beat England at Wembley. They've got a win against Brazil. They feel good about themselves. They had said as a nation they wanted to win the World Cup by 2050, but the coach, Hajime Moriyasu, said there is no reason here this time around that they can't win the competition. There's so much confidence in the Japanese camp.
That is being confident, Fletch. I'm not sure I 100% agree. I think they're a great team, but there's some great teams in this competition. If they're going to win it, Fletch, it won't be with a lot of possession. They beat England and Brazil with, I think, 30% possession.
Here's Frenkie de Jong of Barcelona. It's a very talented central midfield three for the Dutch. Ryan Gravenberch of Liverpool, de Jong from Barcelona, and Tijani Reinders from Manchester City. Players who play at the very, very highest level in club competition. Here's Cody Gakpo, another Liverpool player on the pitch. Frenkie de Jong.
So good, Frenkie de Jong. Looks like he's playing in slow motion. Like the great ones, always one step ahead of the game, reading it beautifully. Denzel Dumfries down this right-hand side. That's a great pairing, Dumfries and Somerville.
Well, we can say now, Denzel Dumfries of Real Madrid. He's going to be playing for Jose Mourinho in La Liga next season.
He makes a bit of size, Jose, don't he? Dumfries will be brilliant.
Cody Gakpo slides one in. Donyell Marlin's first involvement inside the Japanese box, and he's turned! It's a brilliant save by Suzuki. Outstanding from Marlin, but that's a brilliant save.
And it's exactly what he does. I heard Clarence Seedorf before the game talking about how sharp he is in and around the box. Really well done from Cody Gakpo. Great touch. An exceptional little turn from Marlin. What a save from Suzuki.
So outstanding from the Japanese goalkeeper, but that's the threat that Marlin poses. 15 goals in 20 games for Roma, including 7 in his last 7 for the Italian team. And you could see the confidence oozing through him as he turned and hit that shot.
Yeah, he's incredibly efficient when he gets in those areas.
So the first set piece, and Van Dijk, who's very, very good in the Premier League in situations like that, is forward for the first time. You would suspect that in situations like that, there's quite a big advantage for the Netherlands.
Yeah, I think they have 7 players over 6 foot. That's a huge advantage, I think, for the Netherlands. And you could see there on that corner, they were trying to crowd the keeper, make it difficult for him to come and claim it.
Oh, and what about this place, by the way, as we see that save from Suzuki, which could be worth its weight in gold as this game goes on. What about this stadium? So many fans in here. I can't see an empty seat, can you?
My word. Honestly, it's such a special stadium. Jerry Jones has built something really special. Let's hope the game lives up to Fledge.
There's Somerville. And then Gravenberg, who can flick one inside, and then they try to fizz one back in from Marlin to Somerville, who carried on the run. But we've seen some nice slick football here in the early stages from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Somerville is fantastic. That's brilliant coming inside.
Well, there's Ronald Koeman, who was part of the great Dutch squad that won the Euros in 1988, along with the likes of Hullit, Rijkaard and Van Basten. Played in 2 World Cups, including 1994 in the United States. Very much Dutch royalty, and there is no doubt about that. This is Jan-Paul van Hekke, and now the captain of the Netherlands, Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk. Little flick by Somerville. Quickly onto the ball there, Ryan Gravenberg, and it did stay in play. Nakamura, though, able to feed it inside, and here's Ueda. This is what Japan like to do, turn over the possession and get players forward quickly. That's a clumsy challenge by Mickey van der Ven on Nakamura, and a straightforward free kick for the referee from the United States to give.
Yeah, you nailed it, Fletch. That's the blueprint. Defend compact and then hit it forward quickly. And all the players are really technically good on the ball and sharp, explosive into those spaces.
There's a great noise in here. The Dutch always travel well, but it's a very, very large contingent of Japanese supporters in here too. There's been a real buzz around the Dallas area in the last couple of days as both sets of fans have been arriving in the city. The free kick sent in by Kamada, which is nice and deep. And it needed defending there from Van Hekke. I think the assistant on the far side has just indicated the ball went out of play.
Yeah, went for the deeper one. To be fair, Van Hekke read that really well.
Well, the Dutch have lost 3 World Cup finals. The last time was 16 years ago in South Africa. They reached the last 8 4 years ago in Qatar. And they qualified very impressively for this one. That's Hajime Moriyasu, who was in charge 4 years ago. And as I mentioned at the outset today, he's been very, very bullish about what he thinks his nation can achieve here in this World Cup. Edwin van der Sar alongside Wesley Sneijder. Wesley Sneijder on the left, the man who's played more games for the Dutch national team than any other player.
Yeah, 2 of the greats. We've got one in the studio there, Clarence Seedorf. I'm sure they wouldn't mind having one of those greats at the top of the pitch. That's probably the only thing, Fletch, that maybe this Dutch team is missing.
I'm pretty confident all 3 would start today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Ito looking to play it forward. And he's just pulled Van Hekke out here. Maeda's cross. Van Dijk got a wrap on the ankles as he cleared that one away. The Dutch captain was just limping a little bit after the challenge. Nakamura, Ito. Kamada sent it in, but there's nobody there from a Japanese perspective. Well, Japan have never got past the last 16 in any of the 7 previous World Cups that they qualified for. But they only lost once in qualification. Since then, they've beaten Brazil, Scotland and England in preparation matches. So they are here and ready to put up a big challenge. That's flicked on by Gakpo. Quickly across Shogo Taniguchi to make the clearance. The head-to-head is certainly with the Netherlands. They've not lost any of the previous 3 meetings against Japan. The first time they played each other for 13 years, though, and the only time they met at the World Cup, the Dutch won 1-0 in the group stages in South Africa with a goal from a man that we've just seen inside the stadium, Wesley Sneijder. Here's the elegant Frenkie de Jong, who is being harassed by Celtic's Maeda. It's an interesting role for Mickey van der Ven. I mean, he can play left-back, but he's a centre-back when he plays for Tottenham in the Premier League, so it's not exactly a natural position for him out there on the left.
No, but you know what, Fletch, he's a great athlete. He's quick and explosive. I think it could suit him, especially with the Netherlands having so much possession. He's going to have to join in and help out. You see how compact Japan are. They might need somebody, Fletch, to make a late run, whether it's from midfield, whether it's Reinders or Gravenberch, or whether it's Dumfries or Van der Ven from the sides.
Denzel Dumfries, Jan-Paul van Hekke, and now Virgil van Dijk. That's not like him.
I think the boys are still trying to find their passing. That's normal. I think we've seen quite a lot of long balls or forward passes in this tournament so far.
Now, what about this for a number, by the way? This is the 974th World Cup game, but only the 12th that's ever been played indoors.
I'll tell you what, they'll be happy it's been playing indoors as well.
Yeah, it's warm outside.
We never had air-conditioned stadiums.
It's the 3rd game played indoors in the tournament, the one in Vancouver, the one in Houston earlier today, an emphatic win for the Germans, and now this one here in Jerryville in Dallas.
We just saw there on the Japanese, they don't have much of the ball, but when they get it, they can play. And then they get everybody forward.
Daichi Kamada. Now Hiroki Ito, supported by Nakamura. Well, that's good defended by Van Hekke, because you knew he couldn't make contact in there with Maeda. And he's the player who's drawing interest from Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, the current Brighton defender. And he's got the job alongside Virgil van Dijk here in this opening game in the group. Chase on here for Taniguchi. And Daniel Marlin never close enough to him, really, to put him under any pressure.
I think Japan needs to find a way to get Kubo on the ball. He's a fabulous little player. Got a wonderful left foot. Just hasn't been able to get into the game just yet.
A little step over, which almost came off from Doan. He gave Reinders the opportunity to come forward, but he didn't do a great deal with it. The Dutch haven't lost any of their last 16 group stage games in the World Cup. Ironically, the last time they did it was in the US when Belgium beat them in 1994 in Orlando. And they're nigh on 55%. Their win rate in World Cup matches. It's second only to Germany and Brazil, who have got an almost identical win percentage. So they are here with genuine pedigree. This is Maeda defending for Dumfries. He gets the block and Japan get the corner.
Yeah, that's that ball. I like that one over the top. We've seen a lot of teams play quite vertical in this tournament so far. He's a brilliant athlete, Maeda. Great runner.
17 goals for Celtic as he won the Scottish League title this season, Maeda. And Keito Nakamura out to take the corner for Japan. Headed away by Mickey van der Ven. Picked up here by Sano. Kamada. The ball inside by Kubo. It's good football that from Japan, and good defended by Van Hecke. It's the first time we've really seen Kubo explode into action in and around the Dutch penalty area.
Yeah, he was just waiting for the space to open up. Bit of patience, stays on side. Easy little ball down the side. Van Hecke has been fantastic. 3 perfectly timed blocks. You can see why he's so highly rated. He's at Brighton right now. I don't think he'll be there by the end of the summer.
Japan were the first nation, apart from the hosts, to qualify. And in doing so, they made it 8 World Cups in a row for them. And if they can get to the quarterfinals, that's going to mean they've gone further than they've ever gone before.
And Japan are happy to sit in this compact shape. That 3-4-3. Really hard to play through the middle. They want you to play down the sides.
Here's Frankie de Jong. Now Mickey van der Ven. I mean, I doubt there's anybody on the pitch who's faster than Mickey van der Ven. He tends to be the fastest player in the Premier League season upon season. When he gets moving, Van der Ven, is difficult to stop. He scored that wonderful goal from his own penalty area in the Champions League last season.
Wow.
That's good play from Somerville. On it went towards Dumfries and then tied it up in there by Ito for Japan.
Yeah, Somerville, he'll get the fans off the seats. Technically, he's brilliant. Got a low center of gravity.
You wonder what next season holds for Crysencio Somerville. West Ham relegated from the Premier League this season, so you'd suspect a strong World Cup would garner plenty of interest for a player of undoubted talent.
Fletch, he's a fantastic player. He's a Champions League talent player. I'd be amazed if he's still there.
Let's bring in Jeff Shreves. I mean, one player who's not here with Japan is the long-time captain Wataru Endo. Jeff, you can tell us a bit more about that. Somerville's cross. It's a good ball as well. And taken down here by Kubo. We will try and reconnect with Jeff in a minute. 1 or 2 technical gremlins, which we apologise for. Of course, the big difference in here, Owen, it's a grass pitch. The Cowboys play on an artificial surface, so does everybody else who comes here.
Yeah, I mean, the pitch looks fabulous. It's perfect. We were pitch side just before the game. The grass was absolutely immaculate.
I think that's the big difference these days. They used to find it very difficult, didn't they, to lay a grass pitch in an indoor stadium and get it to settle. It used to come up in great big chunks. Teams used to complain about it, but this, as you say, looks absolutely superb. There's Maeda. Oh, that's brilliant over there for Frenkie de Jong. Is he the coolest man in the room, Frenkie de Jong?
Yeah, he is. He's pretty chilled. Absolutely love him.
Donyell Malen plays it on to Cody Gakpo. Can have a go at Watanabe. Donyell Malen took it well. Just couldn't quite get the shot away, but the feet were starting to dance from the Dutch centre forward.
I tell you what, Donyell Malen sharp when he gets it into his feet. Shifts the ball brilliantly.
Van Hekke. Van de Ven. And now de Jong.
Yeah, they need some runners, the Netherlands. Japan are going to sit in this shape, compact. Can't really play through the middle. Needs a midfield runner, or one of the wide boys needs to run them behind.
Cody Gakpo up against Ritsu Doan on that side. He's Japan's captain. Here's Reinders of Manchester City. On it goes. Van Hekke. Somerville. de Jong. Gakpo against Doan once more. We found that little bit of a gap to Mickey van der Ven. That's good defending in there by Watanabe. It's the Dutch at the moment applying the pressure. Reinders. de Jong. Somerville. Van Dijk is winning his 92nd cap for his country today. Gakpo, who didn't score that many for Liverpool in a season where he would have expected to score more, so he's hoping for a big World Cup. Cody Gakpo.
And Japan are doing a good job on Gakpo, doubling up, forcing him to go back to Van de Ven.
Well, we're going to have a hydration break in a minute, Owen, which I can't fathom in here. We're indoors, there's no need for it, but it is the directive for every match. It doesn't quite seem right in here.
Yeah, I do think some games are obviously going to need it more than others.
It's a temperature-controlled environment, so they should be okay. That bounced off Reinders. Had he got it under control, it might have been an interesting situation.
Yeah, he did the right thing, took it on his back foot. It was just a poor touch. He's not really got going in the game, Reinders. Hasn't had many touches.
You mentioned that they need runners. He's the one you'd look to try and get beyond Donyell Malen and really threaten that Japanese back line, isn't he, Reinders?
Yeah, Reinders or Ryan Gravenberch. He's a brilliant athlete. He could make that run as well. Japan aren't going to open up. It's not their game. They're going to wait for you to make a mistake and then they're going to hit on the counter. If they can get some possession, they get comfortable, then they come up the pitch. But they're more than happy to sit in that compact shape. It's almost like Albert Glasner's Crystal Palace. It's the exact same blueprint.
Nakamura. Kamada. Speaking of Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace, he's a Crystal Palace player, the Japanese number 15. On it went by Taniguchi to Watanabe, and then to Doan. Kubo's not really been able to get into the game so far, the number 8, who's a talent, and at this point we will break for rehydration, so the players can get themselves a drink, and we'll be back here in a minute or two.
Elon Musk.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox One, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox One. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts. Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
So off we go. The players rehydrated. Japan with the throw-in. They're still waiting to test Bart Verbruggen in the Dutch goal. Verbruggen fit enough to start. There was a thought that Robin Roos might have to step in, but he's okay, and that's pleasing to Ronald Koeman. Marlon just tried to take on one too many, and those Japanese players were snapping around the ball.
Yeah, but he's sharp, Fletch, when he gets it into his feet.
Swept on by Nakamura. But Maeda's going to take on Van Hekken now on this side. Maeda's been joined by one or two others in the middle. That's Kamada's cross. That's defended by Van der Ven. Swept on them by Gakpo.
I'm not sure why Japan are trying to play a high ball there, Kamada. Their advantage with their low center of gravity is get it down on the ground and play. Everybody in the Netherlands back four is 6'2", 6'3". Balls in the air are going to be bread and butter for the Netherlands.
That's Doan on that side. Oh, Kamada. Nakamura. That's a nice layoff. It's Nakamura looking to drop the shoulder. Might well have taken the shot earlier, and then it is driven in. But it's over the top from Ito. The early chance, though, for Nakamura. Has he just got to hit it first time?
Do you know what? I think that one of the defenders just put his body in the way, so I don't think he thought he could get a shot off. Nakamura's he's a goal scorer from that left-hand side, that wing-back position. Gets plenty of goals for his club.
Gakpo's header on. Shogo Taniguchi with the header. 34. Still going strong at the heart of that Japanese back three. De Jong to Van de Ven. And the Barcelona man gets himself on the ball once more and finds Van Hecke.
Yeah, I think Japan will be happy with this.
Here's Reinders.
Everything's in front of them. Nobody's making runs. Too static. You need movement off the ball.
Cody Gakpo out there on the left-hand side again. Mickey Van de Ven. Virgil van Dijk. That's a good run from Van de Ven. It was found superbly. In goes the cross. It's really good play there. Somebody had to make a run towards the near post in an orange shirt.
Do you know what? Marlon was deeper because he tried to come and get on the ball, and the one time he got into him, he just wasn't there. That's why he needs to stay up and not come and play. They've got midfield to do that.
It's a great little interchange on that side involving Gakpo and Van de Ven. Van de Ven in behind the Japanese defence for the first time. Here's Van Hecke. De Jong. Gakpo against Doan. Reinders. Headed away by Nakamura, helped on by Kamada, but they can't keep the ball at the moment, Japan. The Dutch are dominating in terms of possession. Don't think De Jong's given the ball away yet.
He probably won't, Fletch.
Here's Gakpo. Deep one towards Dumfries, coming in at the far side. And even though he's able to get his head to the ball, he couldn't quite direct it where he wanted to.
How many of those did we see at Inter coming in at the back post with the height advantage? You could see that, but just doesn't get it back across.
Oh, don't forget, later tonight on FS1, double-header action with Ivory Coast against Ecuador, followed by Sweden against Tunisia. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on FS1. Here's Donyell Malen, who had that very good early chance that was quite brilliantly saved by Zion Suzuki in the Japan goal. And they'll stop it here because the ball hit the referee. Here's Van Dijk. 14 minutes to play in the first half. A first half where the Netherlands have had the best chance, and they've had significantly more of the ball as well.
I think that's all part of Japan's game plan, Fletcher. They're cool with that. You can have it. Obviously, they're a little bit deep here, and to transition from here is difficult. But that's how compact they are. Look at that front to back. What? 15 yards maybe front to back. It's amazing.
I think the way the Netherlands competed with Spain in the Nations League is the strongest indicator of what they're potentially capable of here at the World Cup. They lost on penalties after a 5-5 draw on aggregate in the quarter-finals. Well, Spain's seen by many as favourites to win the tournament here, so they were able to go toe-to-toe with them, and that's always the gold standard, isn't it? If you can compete with the Spanish in big games, then you're onto something. Here's Reinders, now Gakpo. Donyell Malen is in the middle, and that's an important header by Taniguchi. One back straight away by De Jong, who's been outstanding so far in central midfield for the Dutch.
Japan just can't keep the ball, can't get up the pitch.
Well, Gakpo seen plenty of it. Kubo's always dropping back in to help Doan on that side, so they're doubling up on Cody Gakpo quite effectively. Here's De Jong. Somerville. Now Denzel Dumfries. Heavy touch there from Malen, so Japan get it back again with Kamada, but tigerishly in went Donyell Malen. The Dutch might be in. It's good defending by Taniguchi. The Netherlands get the corner, but he wasn't going to give that up, was he, Donyell Malen?
Oh, he looks sharp when he gets it. Probably has as many touches as he'd like. Bit of a mix-up from Kamada. He bursts into that space, Marlon. It's a good block.
So Tijjani Reinders of Manchester City out to take the corner. Van Hecker and Van Dijk have both gone in there. Van Dijk, the second highest scoring defender in Dutch international history. Only his coach, Ronald Koeman, has more, but he had those wonderful free kicks as well, didn't he?
Wow.
It's not a bad corner, it's a good header and a good save. And it's Suzuki denying Marlon again. Sent back in by Reinders and flicked over the bar by Van de Ven.
It's been good, Suzuki. Good shot stopper. So a really good ball in. What a great leap for Marlon. Just in the right position, Suzuki. Easy save for him. He's done his job a couple of times as he's had to.
Van Dijk was there nice and sharply on Ueda. It's been a quiet first half so far for the central striker of Japan. Ueda's hardly seen the ball. The two best chances, the two clear chances, have both fallen to the Netherlands man in form, Donyell Malen.
I think that's the one you want to fall to as well. He was the most efficient striker in this Serie A. Normally doesn't need many chances.
He's not the highest scorer of the Dutch starters today. That is Cody Gakpo. Gakpo winning his 50th cap for his country, by the way.
He could be an option, couldn't he? Memphis Depay.
He's on the bench. He's the record goal scorer for the Dutch national team with 55, which, when you think about some of the strikers they've had down the years, that's quite an honour.
Incredible. Some of the names they've had in the past, some are, honestly.
I think some could still play for them now. So the two centre-backs up for the set piece, and Reinders, who just took the corner, as the player is going to take this, boomed in towards the far side, and then fired over the bar by Cody Gakpo. Interesting variation on the free kick to go for that deep one.
It was a fabulous ball. It really, really was. It was actually really good defending. Into the back post. Brave defending. Takes one for the team. There's definitely the advantage there for the Netherlands.
Laces need to be tied for Watanabe. The last game that the Dutch played, by the way, in the World Cup was 4 years ago in Qatar. They played Argentina. 18 yellows and a red shown by the referee in that game. So it's been a lot quieter here, the opening match in Dallas, than it was.
Do you know what I like
4 years ago?
I like when the refs are pretty quiet. I know Mark Clattenburg is probably not going to like to hear that, but you kind of want them not to have a busy game.
Yeah.
Let the players try and sort it out if they can, and then in the big moments they can come in.
James Corden and the After Hours crew will be on Fox tonight for another nightly wrap of today's World Cup action with special guests, and you can see that midnight local on Fox. At one point that's worth making, Owen, as well, it does take a good team to beat the Dutch at the World Cup. If you go all the way back to 1974 in the final in Germany, they've only ever been eliminated by either the Germans, the Argentinians, the Spanish, the Portuguese or the Brazilians. So it's not as if they lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to. They've got this magnificent pedigree. Even sometimes when you look at the club game in the Netherlands, they've still got a national team that's very competitive.
Yeah, great history. They've had some fantastic teams, brilliant individual players.
Here's Somerville up against Nakamura, twisting and turning and finding a little ball inside.
Unlucky. I think Dumfries is getting too close to Somerville. I think he needs to wait to make that late run. He does it so well. Dumfries leaves Somerville to go 1v1. He can do it on his own.
We've not seen Dumfries make any kind of run down the right as yet, and that's such a trademark of the play that we see for Inter Milan and what we'll see next season for Real Madrid as well.
But see, Fletcher, I think he's too high. He's almost the highest player. I think he needs to make the run late. That's his advantage. Then the defenders can't see him, like from here. See him in this nearest to us at the end of your picture.
By Dumfries, defending done there for Japan by Nakamura. Orange shirts all over the place.
Yeah, iconic, aren't they? Such a feature in these major tournaments. Their fans are incredible.
It brings back memories of so many great players down the years, all the way back to Johan Cruyff, and on from there, Gullit, Rijkaard, Van Basten. Great players, Koeman, who's the coach these days. You think about Bergkamp and Van Persie and others. Clarence Seedorf is with us.
I'll tell you who has a nice top as well. Japan, the second one. We saw it in the airport, the white one.
You're a big fan, aren't you?
What a beautiful kit that is.
Big fan. You're a big fan of the Japanese tracksuits as well, you were saying earlier.
Old school one. I think it's like an 80s one.
Yeah. I suspect my partner might be treating himself before he goes home.
Not me. My little man would like that Japan shirt, I think.
Here's Dumfries and now Somerville. Van Hecker. Now Van Dijk.
They're in complete control, aren't they? The Netherlands, they just have to make it count.
61% possession so far for the Dutchies.
Well, he has a huge advantage there. I think Ronald Koeman would be quite happy, really. Got good control, but maybe just speed the game up or get some runners.
Coming up, the Visa halftime show on Fox with Rebecca Lowe, Thiago Alcantara, Javier Hernandez and Alexi Lalas.
I think Kamala just had a look up to check for half-time there. I think he probably wants another drink.
I think there's a few in here who want another drink. Here's Watanabe. Kubo. A lot of European clubs have shown interest in him. The Athletic Bilbao player had a very, very quiet first half, though, the number 8. That's good, though. In goes the cross. Going to fall for Nakamura. Drags it wide. Well, that's what they've been waiting for. That's exactly what they've been waiting for.
And we said before, Nakamura, he gets some goals. And he gets in the box from that wing-back position. Strikes it with his weaker right. Verbruggen had it covered anyway.
Well, he's a man in form. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 international appearances. And when you look at his strike rate, 10 goals in 25 games from a wide position. So he's usually a lot better in situations like that than he was there. But he's had the 2 chances, 1 good chance and 1 half chance for Japan in the first half.
He's a very good goal scorer from that wing-back position. Doan on the right-hand side again. He's an attacker. He's not a defender. You've got 2 attackers playing really defensive positions. And I think that's why they're so dangerous, Japan, because they essentially attack with 5 players when they can.
He wants a bit more entertainment there.
Yeah, he probably...
Fast off.
Probably needs a few sweets, doesn't he?
Fast off.
A few candies, keep him up.
That's not a bad pass. Chance here for Japan. Side getting. Ueda's first sight of goal. And they were opened up there, the Netherlands.
Yeah, and he can finish. What a great ball that is. That's a run across his body. Again, I think Verbruggen had it covered. But he's a goal scorer.
That might be the best pass they've seen in this stadium since Dak Prescott threw a 74-yarder to C.D. Lamb against the Washington Commanders in Week 7.
Yeah, that was proper.
That was some ball, wasn't it?
That was proper.
Absolutely split them open.
Yeah, that was quarterback levels. Tom Brady would have been happy with that. But they're growing into it, Fletcher, aren't they, Japan?
They are. You can see the plan, can't you?
Yeah. Smash and grab. They're cool with that.
There's Frankie de Jong, who scored at the World Cup in 2022, but he's not got an international goal since then. He just overhits that one over there to Cody Gakpo. Just remember that. That might be the only pass that Frankie de Jong doesn't complete today.
Souvenir.
Yeah.
Yeah, the great ones always play at their own speed, Fletch. I think in any sport, Frankie's one of those. He just chilling.
So 3 minutes of additional time. That's the length of the hydration break. There's not really been a stoppage, so I think the officials have got that right. Helped on by Kubo. Over went Ueda, but that wasn't a foul. On by Reinders. Somerville nice and sharp. That is a free kick. Ito was just a little bit late.
He's so sharp, Somerville, isn't he?
Here's Gravenberch. He's probably been the quietest of the three central midfielders for the...
Fantastic, but I think he probably preferred playing on the left, but Gakpo's there.
So let's see whether this corner can provide successful for the Dutch. Tijani Reinders out to take it. Marlin came close from the last one they had from this side. And pretty much the final opportunity of the first half for the Netherlands. It's a good ball. It's headed on, but it's into the goalkeeper's arms. And it's a hat-trick of Marlin versus Suzuki moments.
Yeah, I think he was unlucky, Marlin. It just kind of hit him, whether he wasn't ready or he was held.
Well, that's it. It was essentially Donyell Marlin versus Zion Suzuki. The best save we saw the Japanese goalkeeper make was very early in the half. But there were chances for Nakamura and a chance for Ueda right at the end. You know what the Japanese game plan is, but half-time here in Dallas is the Netherlands 0, Japan 0.
From the... Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox 1, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox 1. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions.
Time now for halftime here at the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Presented by Fox 1. And now a look at today's first half.
45 minutes in the books at Dallas Stadium. Netherlands and Japan right now in a 0-0 deadlock. We welcome you into the halftime show. Jackson Feltz here alongside former United States men's national team player, two-time MLS champion Brad Evans, as well as the All-American and national champion at North Carolina, Danny Jackson. Gentlemen, we are in a 0-0 game right now. There's been some excitement, though, Brad, just in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, look, this one took a little bit to get into this one, but Japan certainly with a number of chances late in that half, and they were coming from errant passes from Netherlands, right? A little bit lax, a little bit too comfortable, 70-ish% possession. This is the first game, the opener of the World Cup. You have to get a taste and a flavor. It's been 13 years since these teams last played, so you can watch all the video you want, but it starts when you step on the field. And you might have a game plan when you go into the game, and then things change with something that happens on the field. And so for Japan, they must maintain possession of the ball in smart areas, because I think Japan is known for making the right decision, but too many careless giveaways in attack. They feel like they have to go to goal. They have to get that goal. A little bit more patience to not allow themselves to kind of get out of reach and get out of their own game plan.
Yeah, the last 5-10 minutes is when Japan kind of absorbed it, and then they broke quickly. They challenged Verbruggen a couple of different times, but watching the Dutch right now reminds me a lot of Liverpool this season, right? With Arne Slot, who is a Dutch coach who lost his job at the end of the season based on the performances they had, especially at home, where they kind of bored the crowd. And I think going side to side can be effective at times. It can lull the opposition to sleep, but then you've got to penetrate and go. That's what the US did so well. They broke through lines quickly. Spain do that so well as well. They keep possession, they make you chase, but then they find those little pockets of space to kind of cut through, and the Dutch need to be a bit more north-south versus east-west.
Yeah, my notes right here. Netherlands, too slow. It's too slow. A to B, B to C, and for De Jong, Pirlo was so effective because he was able to find the pockets and then pick out the diagonal pass or the ball in behind. De Jong is that type of player. You're not going to see him run too much, but he has to do a better job of getting on the ball and being the playmaker. It can't be Van Dijk and Van Heck. They can't be your playmakers in this game. So De Jong, but flip side, Japan's doing a good job of taking De Jong out of this game because we know his caliber, Barcelona. He is the guy that can pick out those passes, but you would expect more from him in those moments.
Well, for this first half right now, we are sitting at 0-0 between the Netherlands and Japan here in Group F, one of the highly anticipated games here in the group stage of FIFA World Cup 2026. Also in this group is Tunisia and Sweden here in Group F. It's a bit of one of the more difficult groups here in the World Cup this year. Sweden with some good history as well. So we are seeing one of the big battles, and the question is, who will break through first right now in a 0-0 game? Our first half recap has been brought to you by the Home Depot. Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 setup. Build it like Beckham from living room to lawn with the Home Depot. And take the fast free delivery assist. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter, subject to availability. We will look ahead to keys to the second half. Who will break through in this 0-0 game here in the group stage? We'll have more next on Japan-Netherlands. Coming up, you're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Where is it?
There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hey friends, I'm Jessica Capshaw.
And this is Camilla Luddington.
And we have a new podcast, Call It What It Is. You may know us from Graceland Memorial, but did you know that we are actually besties in real life?
When one of us sends out the distress signal, the other one always answers the call. Big or small, we're there.
And what does that look like? 1,000 pep talks, 1,000,000 I've got yous, some very urgent I'm coming overs. Because, I don't know, let's face it, life can get even crazier than a season finale of Grey's Anatomy.
And now here we are, opening up the friendship circle.
Someone's cheating?
We've got you on that.
In-laws are in-line?
Let's get into it.
Toxic friendship?
Air it out.
We're on your side to help you with your concerns. Talk about ours, and every once in a while, bring on an awesome guest to get their take on the things that you bring us. Listen to Call It What It Is on the iHeart.
Experience the FIFA World Cup live. Brad, I'll start with you with your key staff. What are the keys for Japan here in the second?
I wouldn't categorize this as entertaining soccer right now. Both teams, it took 30 to 40 minutes to get into a groove. A couple half chances, a good save early from Suzuki. But I just think that they need to impose their game a bit more, take more chances. And like Danny said, you have wide players that are world class. Isolate them, use them, take a chance. Head coach has to be saying, you guys, use your skill, use what you've done with your club teams to get you at the biggest clubs in the world. Take guys on, make mistakes, and we'll recover. We have the best center back in the world.
Yep, and it's a chess match now. He said it's a little bit boring. Needs to be picked up in terms of pace and speed. But I do think the best performer on the field right now is El Fath, the MLS referee. He's had a solid game. I mean, he's had to step in sometimes. You can see him on camera having a little word with a couple of the players, keeping things going. And he's been, what you want from a referee is somebody to stay out of the way. And so far, he's done a good job.
You can tell it's Ismail El Fath because, strangely, Brad, as you pointed out, referees actually have their names on the back of their jersey. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Never seen it. It was a surprise to me. But look, hey, they're going to get recognition too. Maybe there's some sponsorships thrown their way. Who knows? They want the world to know.
Yeah, when you see those three, the three VAR referees do a little wave and a smile before the game, that's always makes me chuckle.
Well, right now it is 0-0 between Japan and the Netherlands. Later today, we're also going to have Ivory Coast and Ecuador, and also the other group other teams in Group F, Sweden and Tunisia. That will be on iHeartRadio as well. But we will get to the second half from Dallas Stadium. Right now, it is a deadlock of 0-0. The question is, who will break through and score first here in this game? Japan, Netherlands will resume next. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
On the podcast Health Stuff, we are tackling all the health questions that keep you up at night.
Yes, I'm Dr. Priyanka Wali, a double board certified physician.
And I'm Hari Kondabolu, a comedian and someone who once Googled, do I have scurvy at 3 a.m.?
On Health Stuff, we're talking about health in a different way.
It's not only about what we can do to improve our health,
but also what our health says about us and the way we're living.
Like our episode where we look at a potential new breakthrough treatment for type 1 diabetes.
Or our in-depth analysis of how incredible mangoes are.
We'll also be interviewing experts about their specialties and what they find to be essential for good health and healthcare. For us, health is not about trying to live forever. It's about practical advice that can improve our well-being today.
On our show, we're committed to having a healthier conversation about health.
It's going to be a fun ride, so tune in.
Listen to Health Stuff starting October 29th on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
iHeartRadio Did You Know? Presented by iHeartRadio. You know, what you're listening to right now. Did you know that iHeartRadio not only lets you listen to all your favorite AM/FM stations locally and nationwide for free, but iHeartRadio also has a team of people who are as passionate about music as you, working round the clock to hand curate playlists perfect for any mood or activity. We know the right soundtrack can help set the mood, change your mood, or enhance any activity. And that's why we have thousands of playlists tuned to fit any situation. The best part, you can listen to all your playlists for free. Tap the playlist tab in the iHeartRadio app and explore playlists to help you get in the zone while working out or chill when it's time to wind down. Playlists for a party, sleeping, cooking, gaming, or road tripping. Playlists curated with the best hits from every decade and playlists with the biggest hits from every genre. Tap the playlist tab and discover all the playlists available to you free from iHeartRadio. #1 for music, radio, and podcasting. All in one app.
Join Fox's live play-by-play coverage of the second half of today's FIFA World Cup 2026 match. Follow all the exclusive World Cup action on iHeartRadio.
Play with quality to make a difference.
Three of us will rejoin you once the final whistle blows, but for now, back upstairs for the call, Darren Fletcher, Owen Hargreaves. Thank you, Rob. To try and give people optimism that we could get goals in the second half, if you look at the way they both qualified, the Netherlands averaged more than 3 goals a game in qualification, and when you look at Japan, they scored 54 goals across 16 qualifying matches. But I mean, when you look at it, the strength of both teams really is at the back, but the opportunity is there for one of them to go and win this game, and if they do win the game, they're going to be in a very strong position within the group that they're in terms of winning the group and making your path from that point on that much easier.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think there's some great players out there, and I think we're going to get some goals. But there's some really good defenders as well. And Heke was the best player in the first half.
That's a good pass by Gravenberch. Now here's Somerville in behind the Japanese defenders. Pulls back the cross. Little bit on it from Watanabe. Don't think it would have worked out for Cody Gakpo anyway. But that's the first time we've seen a bit of space for Somerville to run into. The angle was just against him, but that was a nice start to this second half for the Dutch. In it goes by Van Hecke. Ryan Gravenberch twisting and turning. Too many bodies between him and the goal. There were blue shirts everywhere. Van Hecke gets it back again. Now De Jong. Out it goes to Crescencio. Somerville is supported here by Denzel Dumfries. Now Donyell Malen. And stepping in there was Sano to break things up, win it back for Japan, but he can't keep the ball in play. But a lively start for the Dutch, Owen, who quickly got themselves onto the front foot.
Yeah, but Japan take away the middle, and I think Netherlands keep trying to come back inside. I think the space is outside.
Cody Gakpo, who had lots of the ball in the first half on the left-hand side for the Netherlands, but didn't do a great deal with it, in all honesty. Here's Gravenberch. And now Somerville. Ryan Gravenberch again. Drives in the cross. It's gone right through the 6-yard box and flashed across the front of Donyell Malen.
Yeah, and Clarence Seedorf at half-time made a great point. One of those midfield needs to make a run and get forward and support Donyell Malen. Trying Gravenberch now. That's when you need to time that run, make it. That's difficult to defend for Japan. And again, you need more bodies in there. Gakpo coming in the back post, maybe.
Here's Ueda, who had to wait until right to the end of the first half to get his first opportunity to take a shot at Bart Verbruggen.
Yeah, Japan need to get their attacking players more touches. Or Kubo.
Attacking options on the Dutch bench as well. Different types of attacking players. Justin Kluivert, who's a goal-scoring winger in the Premier League with Bournemouth. Wout Weghorst, who's the big man through the middle if you want to start being a bit more direct. Of course, there's Memphis Depay, who, despite his age, is the all-time record goal scorer for the Dutch. And then there's Noah Lang, who had a good season too. Nearly lost his thumb, by the way, in the Champions League at Liverpool when he got it caught on that advertising hoarding. But they've got options, haven't they? Different types of players to suit the circumstances potentially.
Yeah, and I think we've seen all the managers use the sub-bench really well to great effect. Yeah, Noah Lang's very lively. Memphis Depay has got a goal in him without question.
Nakamura's ball. Not too much on that. Awada was trying to make the running behind Van Hekke.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of those passes, Fred, so far in this World Cup. That vertical pass.
Frenkie de Jong, Virgil van Dijk. 3 starting players in the Dutch team from Liverpool. The man in possession, Cody Gakpo, along with Gravenberch and Van Dijk. He's got the free kick there for the foul on Doan, who was trying to stand his ground and in doing so impeded the Dutch winger.
It's probably the first time Gakpo's gone left. And then he skips back inside. That's a difficult matchup for Doan.
So Reinders over the free kick for the Netherlands. Van Hekke and Van Dijk have both gone forward into the 6-yard box of Japan. Donyell Malen's got his head to a couple of Reinders crosses in this match so far today. And this time he hits the first man, the man who gave the free kick away, Doan. Gravenberch's ball in, that's a good header! It's Virgil van Dijk for the Netherlands who lead in Dallas. Into the second half by the Dutch captain Virgil van Dijk.
But I tell you what, Fletch, what a ball from Ryan Gravenberch. No pressure on the ball, just whips it in. No offside, is in a great position. What a header that is, by the way. Just heads it back across goal, low, absolutely no chance for Suzuki. But that's why you play a little bit quicker. Get the ball into the box. We said, Fletch, before, that's their advantage. Get the ball up in the air. Look at Virgil guiding that in, looking down. What a fantastic header.
Celebrations from his manager, Ronald Koeman. And how many times have we seen Virgil van Dijk score that very goal in the red shirt of Liverpool?
He's so good at it. You know, he doesn't go for power, just guides it. Well, he's a special player. Big moment for a special player.
He's winning his 92nd cap today. Played 55 games for Liverpool last season. Pretty sure it's the last time we're going to see him in a World Cup finals, but he's broken the deadlock here in Dallas. The Netherlands won, Japan 0. And now we might just need to see a change of tactics from the Japanese, but it does back up the point you made very, very early in the first half. They've got such an advantage, the Dutch players, when the ball's in the air.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the ball from Ryan Gravenberch is absolutely fabulous. You see Van Dijk, no question.
Yeah, that's Taniguchi playing him on side. Shogo Taniguchi timed his run perfectly, didn't he, the big number 4?
And he just stayed up. But the ball and the header are absolute perfection. And again, you can just speed up play a little bit. You speed it up. Japan don't get out to them. No pressure on the ball. And that's what happens.
See, I told you we'd get a goal.
I told you we'd get one. You're being pessimistic.
We're both claiming it. So let's see what the Japanese response is. The Netherlands with the lead. Mickey van der Ven with the possession.
He loves to run with the ball, doesn't he? He just wants people to get out of the way.
He's a difficult man to get it off. Get it off him when he's got the ball.
I love him. Got size, got speed.
Here's Van Hecke.
There's no point now Japan sitting in this shape waiting. They're going to have to make something happen. They've got to come out and press a little bit, get a little bit higher.
Well, if you widen that statistic out, they've only lost 2 of the 31 games in World Cup finals when they've scored the first goal. So they are very good front runners, the Dutch, when they get the lead. And we did mention they've not lost a game in 90 minutes in the World Cup for 20 years. And they've got the lead here. And a lot of people do think that they've got the ability to go very deep into the tournament. If they can find a way to score enough goals, then everything else is in place for them.
But you know what? Maybe they don't have to score that many, Fletch. Maybe that's a secret.
Yeah.
You know, the best part of this team is defensively. Van Hecke and Van Dijk have been fabulous. Dumfries and Van der Ven. And then De Jong in front. You know, that's solid. I don't think they're going to score a ton of goals. But if they can keep clean sheets, they got a chance.
Well, Van Dijk, who must be on cloud 9, is De Jong, who's hardly given the ball away. It's the Dutch fans in their orange shirts, these vivid orange shirts, who you can hear inside this stadium in Dallas. I mean, there is no need now from a Dutch perspective to do anything other than keep the ball, and they're very good at that. The emphasis very much now on Japan to do something different.
But you see on that shot there, Fletch, they've got a back 5 in. You know, they need to commit bodies forward. The wing-backs need to get high. They've only got one striker at Marlon, so they can be a bit more aggressive.
That's played on towards Somerville, who can get the cross in from the byline and try and pick out Marlon. Really good acceleration by Somerville, and knew he'd got to deal with it quickly.
Oh, he's a handful. I love this pass. Straight one in behind. Great run. It's actually really good defending from Japan in the end. But it just feels that there's another one there for the Netherlands if they're clinical.
Well, one of them might be quite advantageous for the Dutch, as we see the referee's view of the goal, and that gives you a different perspective. And it shows you just how good a header that was from Virgil van Dijk. Now then, here come the Japanese. But what about that from recovery speed from Ryan Gravenberch?
How quick was that? I said before, parents were chatting about it at half-time. He's such a good athlete. He can make those runs forward and back.
Here's Kubo. The kind of player they need on the ball now in the circumstances. Nakamura. That's not a bad ball, but it was just a fraction behind Ueda.
Yeah, Kubo needs to get on the ball. If I was him, I'd just come inside and say, just give it to me. There we go.
And Kubo at the byline. Now, can he pick out someone in blue? Shot deflected in! Japan level! Japanese celebrations in Dallas. It's Keito Nakamura with his 11th goal for Japan, his first goal in a World Cup finals game.
Yeah, and we said about Nakamura, he can get goals. Good finisher with both feet. But it was Kubo who was a great losers Reinders. He was just under the legs of Denzel Dumfries.
Took a little flick, didn't it, off Van Hecke. That little deflection off Jan-Paul Van Hecke. But what a response from the Japanese.
You know what, I think it might have come off Maeda. And I don't think Verbruggen could have seen it.
The Dutch lead lasted 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was Van Hecke.
It's definitely a Van Hecke flick. The one thing about being in the stadium, the screen is that big that hangs from the ceiling. It tells you absolutely everything. Yeah. There's nowhere to hide in here.
But you know what, all that came from Kubo. Not staying on that right-hand side, coming inside, said, get me some touches, get me involved in the game. And Reinders just didn't pick him up.
So 2 goals inside the opening 13 minutes here in Dallas of the second half. Virgil van Dijk for the Netherlands, and then Keita Nakamura for Japan. Here's Gravenberg, and that's intercepted by the goal scorer, who looked the most likely in the first half. If anybody was going to score a Japanese goal, it was going to be Nakamura. So no surprise it's him that's got them back on terms.
And he's scored a ton of goals for his club team this season as well, from that position.
Yeah, scored 14 for Reims in France. Here it's Keita Nakamura. And it's game on here in Big D.
He won't be playing there long, will he, Fledge?
No.
For getting that many goals from that position.
Oh, he looks a really good player, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think I like Fletcher's way, two-footed, uses left, but he shifts it onto his right.
So the long throw-in coming in. Mickey van der Ven's right at that near post position. It's headed away by Nakamura. It's amazing, really, when you've got a goal, everything seems to go through you for the next 5 minutes or so. Van Dijk in there, challenging with Ueda, and the decision is Netherlands' corner.
I know we had a difficult season, Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool, but he looks fit, he looks sharp.
Well, it's a game that's burst into life. Charlie Reinders out to take the corner for the Dutch. Van Dijk and Van Hekke waiting for the delivery. Well, Van Hekke's right in there on the goalkeeper. Reinders with the ball. Van der Ven attacked it, so did Van Hekke. Japan able to repel the danger, and now there might be a counter-attack on for them. And there is. And the Dutch have got to get back defensively. And it's Watanabe, the central defender. One of the 3 central defenders, and we're going to see the first yellow card, which is shown to Crescencio Somerville.
That's a really good counter-attack. And that's a clear foul from Somerville.
I wonder if that youngster we saw in the first half, who was fast asleep, has woken up now.
Yeah, no, well, they've
not given a little nudge.
I'll tell you, Japan have woken up, that's for sure. Yeah. Playing a lot better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just a bit too passive, too deep, too negative in that first half.
It's a good game from here. 29 minutes left. And a free kick here for Japan. Kubo is one of the players, stood over it. He's the player with his arms in the air. Puts a bit of bend on the free kick. Van Hekke was there. Here's Nakamura.
Guess who?
Straight at Ryan Gravenberg.
He's everywhere, isn't he, Nakamura?
Absolutely.
And again.
He's got a bit of space on that side. He's got 2 or 3 in the area too. That's played on here to Doan, the captain, who clips in the cross, but nobody in there to do anything with it. And then that's a foul on Somerville by Kubo.
Yeah, they're too good, Japan, to be that passive as they were in the first half. Don't wait 4 years for a World Cup. You've got to go make things happen. There's the finish in between the legs of Dumfries. On target with a little touch from Van Hekke. Makes it impossible for Verbruggen.
He just moved it a fraction, didn't it? Japanese celebrations inside the stadium here in Dallas. Later on tonight, FS1 double-header action. Ivory Coast against Ecuador, followed by Sweden against Tunisia. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific on FS1. This World Cup is well and truly underway.
Yeah, we've had a few surprises already. I feel a bit sorry for Van der Ven. He wants to get involved, but he can't get many touches.
Well, that's nicely done by Gravenberg. Played out now to Somerville. Marlon's on his way into the middle. Somerville hits the shot. Oh, brilliant! Great goal! Crescencio Somerville for the Netherlands. Fantastic strike, second international goal, the Netherlands back ahead.
Oh, that's fabulous. Absolutely brilliant from Somerville. Ryan Gravenberch does amazing initially. That's impossible for Suzuki. It's actually just passed into the goal. It's really interesting. Somerville ran over to the bench. I think it was Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's like a thank you. They must have worked on it in training. See it there.
Well, he was having such a good season for West Ham before he got injured. There's the embrace with Ruud van Nistelrooy, one of the great centre-forwards for the Dutch national team. And what a wonderful goal that Somerville scored to light up this stadium here in Dallas.
Yeah, touch of class from the player, but obviously some good coaching as well, Fletch. He's obviously said to him, when you come inside, look to pass it into that corner. Ruud van Nistelrooy is one of the best finishers I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Well, it has well and truly burst into life. 3 second-half goals, and you wonder where the next one's going to come from.
I reckon that little man's woken up now, even if he wanted to sleep. It's got too loud in here.
So it's advantage Netherlands once more. Don't forget the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Scan the QR code on the screen to vote for the Player of the Match. And I would suggest there are some strong contenders out there at the moment on both sides.
Yeah. What a touch that is from Ryan Gravenberch, by the way. He upgraded that goal.
Off goes Gakpo, looking to get the other side of Doan. The Netherlands threatening again. Brilliant from Gakpo. Still Gakpo. Oh, that would have been wonderful. It's a great block by Ito in the end. But that's the best we've seen of Cody Gakpo.
Yeah, sharp. Be decisive. Don't wait. Run at the defender. Commits in 1v1. Again, play a little bit quicker. Get the ball out wide and go 1v1. He might have been just off.
Just.
But I love this. Patience. Comes back inside. It was an exceptional block.
So Maeda's gone off. And Ito has come on, plays for Genk in Belgium. So an attacking change made by Hajime Moriyasu. He was hoping that Ito could come off the bench and inspire his team.
I'm not sure Maeda looked too thrilled to be coming off.
There's Kubo hitting the shot! That would have been sensational. Hit it like an absolute bullet.
He's a player, isn't he? He said, come on, give it to me.
And I thought that was going into the top corner.
Yeah, I think he did as well, Fletch. He's a fantastic player, but again, he needs to be more involved, trying to make things happen on his own.
One thing I am sure about, you can't hit them better than that.
No. And now the boys deserve a break.
So the boys are going to take a break. I just wish this could carry on because it's been fantastic in the second half. The players are going to take a drink. The Netherlands 2, Japan 1. We're back in a minute or two.
This
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox 1, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox 1. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
Did you know not all batteries are the same? For example, only Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And Duracell are the only batteries that make this sound every time you say Power Boost ingredients. See? Duracell batteries with Power Boost ingredients. You try. Told you. Duracell batteries are built different with Power Boost ingredients. And they're built right here in the USA with US and global parts.
So welcome back to Dallas, where the Dutch, who have the lead and are now making changes. The all-time record goal scorer for the Netherlands, Memphis Depay, is on to replace Donyell Malen. They're also going to send on Teun Koopmeiners and Quentin Timber as well. So Koopmeiners is coming on to replace Somerville, who's just got the goal, the all-important goal. So that's pretty much his last involvement. And Timber on to replace Reinders. So his brother Jurrien Timber sadly ruled out of the World Cup with injury, but Quentin Timber of Marseille is here, twin brother, and he's on to try and see this Dutch team over the line. I mean, it's turned into a thriller. We wanted more at half-time. We've certainly got more, Owen, in the second half, and this is now the kind of game that we hoped it would be.
Yeah, I mean, they're two good sides, well coached. I'm surprised Somerville's coming off. I thought it was a real handful. Such a shame. Jurrien Timber's not here. Probably the best fullback in the Premier League last season.
So Memphis Depay, who plays for Corinthians in Brazil these days, he's on to play in his third World Cup. That's no foul. Denzel Dumfries plays it on. Koopmeiners involved for the first time since coming off the bench. Here's Timber. And the Japanese players quickly swarm around the ball and win it back again, and now they can think about coming forward themselves through Doan. Now they'll just stop it here because of the injury over there to Kubo.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in that. Just gets caught 2v1.
I mean, how significant might this be from a Dutch perspective? They've not got much travelling to do at all in the group stage. They're in Houston for the next game and then Kansas City for the one after that. There are some teams that are flying here, there and everywhere, different time zones, different countries. But they're in a certain part of the United States. They're not going to go very far. Is that advantageous in a tournament like this where there is potentially so much travel?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, every advantage, you take it if you can. I do think with having more teams in the competition, there's bigger spaces between the games.
That's a good header by Van Dijk. Here's Gravenberg. We're delighted to say we're going to be with the Dutch all the way through the group stage. With this tremendous support they've got, they're always going to be a story. Gakpo chasing this pass forward from De Jong and making it his. Cody Gakpo shot. That's a good save by Suzuki, who had to plunge down quickly and tip it around the post for the corner.
He makes that look easy, Suzuki, and I don't think it is. Again, that straight pass, I like that one from De Jong. Gakpo into a 1v1 quite quickly. Just got one thing on his mind. Gakpo wants to come inside, shifts it. Good save again from Suzuki.
So Memphis Depay, who's winning his 110th Dutch cap here in Dallas, swings in the corner towards Van Hekken, who could get the direction but not the power from the Memphis Depay corner. But they're just playing with 10 at the moment as well, because Kubo is still off. And just looking down at the bench, they are preparing 3 changes, Japan, of their own. So changes coming. One of them is Sugawara. He's ready. Takahiro Tomiyasu, once of Arsenal, is preparing himself, as is Koko Ogawa. So 3 changes. You'd suspect that Kubo is going to be one of them, based on the fact he's off the pitch receiving treatment at the moment.
Yeah, he's their most talented player. That would be a huge blow to Japan.
Nice from Doan. Here's a chance for the Japanese. Van de Ven gone across quickly to just lean on Watanabe. Well, they will get a corner. That was a nice little interchange of passes on this side by Japan.
Again, big runs in behind. Forward pass, forward run. Here's quick. Van de Ven gets back.
So they're going to take off the captain Doan and send on Yukinori Sugawara. That's the first change. We're also going off Watanabe, who's just been involved. He's replaced by Tomiyasu. And Ogawa for the injured Kubo, and we hope that's nothing too significant for Kubo, who's a really important player, based on the fact they've got no Minamino and no Mitoma, 2 good attacking options who are missing the World Cup through injury, so they can ill afford to lose a player like Kubo as well.
Yeah, well, I know Kubo, he's got a bit of a knock and he's come up, but Doan's probably the most creative player. Number 10, I'm surprised he's gone off from being a goal behind.
So the corner taken by Ito. And then played straight back in, but wildly off target. Don't forget, James Corden and the After Hours crew will be on Fox tonight for another nightly wrap of today's World Cup action with special guest Erling Haaland. That's on Fox at midnight local. One thing I would say, when Erling Haaland's on the television, make sure you see him, because he's one of the most entertaining footballers in the world. Here's Gakpo for the Netherlands. On by Timber. Just trying to get on the end of that was the substitute Koopmeiners. He was able to wrap his leg around the defender, but then couldn't get enough power on the shot.
Yeah, Gakpo's enjoying himself on this left-hand side now, isn't he? Played a bit quicker.
Much better in the second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's not taking as many touches. He's been a bit more decisive and running at the defender a bit quicker.
Header won by Van Hecker, then by Van Dijk, on by Timber. That's no foul on Gravenberch. He's let things go, hasn't he, the American referee?
Looked like one to me. So it feels like that's been a theme of this World Cup so far. Refs letting it go a little bit more, which I think is not a bad thing.
Here's Sano, Ito. 14 minutes left. Kamada. Taniguchi, Ito. Now Sugawara. Ito swings in the cross, but there's nobody there in a blue shirt. It's captain played by Hiroki Ito on that side, but they'll have to settle for the throw in Japan.
Yeah, I'm not sure crossing is going to be the thing for the Japanese. They just don't have that height advantage.
Ito. Kamada. Tomiyasu. Sugawara's cross. Again, there's not really an aerial threat in the middle from Ueda. Here's Nakamura, the goal scorer. Mickey van der Ven can glance it out for the throw-in, but I don't think it's the right tactic, Owen. Just keep swinging the ball into the box when you've got Van Hecker and Van Dijk in there.
No, they got to pass and move, short and sharp. That's their advantage. Technically, they're very good, Japan.
I must say the support for both nations has been brilliant here today.
Look at that, what a brilliant shot. Two fans together.
Sugawara's throw dealt with by the Dutch. They all came in, didn't they? The Dutch fans on the open-top buses, the orange open-top buses that we saw lots of in Dallas earlier today. It's always a better tournament when the Dutch fans are involved. I mean, we saw the Scotland fans as well last night, weren't they brilliant? Singing Flower of Scotland before the win against Haiti. Well, the Dutch have certainly played their part as well. It's been a wonderfully colourful and atmospheric World Cup to this point. The Netherlands with the lead here. Ito's header. Played straight at Ryan Gravenberch, and that's out for the throw-in.
So they've just dropped a little bit deeper, the Netherlands, after those subs. Trying to see the game out. I'm not sure that's the best thing. Maybe try and go and get the third.
Great noise inside the stadium. Off goes Ito. Looking to get in behind Frankie de Jong and pull back the cross. Good chance. Didn't get enough of it. Sugawara, the substitute, was almost the Japanese hero.
But that's the play, Fletch. Exactly that. Get it down and play. Cut back. That was brilliant football.
Just makes a lot more sense to play like that than getting wide and swinging it in.
Yeah, Sugawara and Ito look good on this right-hand side now. Look fresh.
Keito Nakamura moving towards the final 10 minutes in Dallas. Here's Kamada. Good spell this for Japan. Taniguchi. Tomiyasu. Looking to thread one in. Van Hecker's hardly put a foot wrong, has he, at the back today? You can see why there's a lot of interest in the Brighton defender from some big clubs.
You see that little cut back there. Really nice football, nice interchange.
We're going to see another change made by Ronald Koeman. And they're going to send on Nathan Ake, and he's coming on to replace Ryan Gravenberch. Well, it's a stadium that's held some huge events here in the past. Super Bowl 45 was played here, the NBA All-Star Game in 2010. Mike Tyson, Canelo and Manny Pacquiao have fought here. U2, Paul McCartney and the Rolling Stones have played here. And now we've got the first of 9 matches in the biggest global sporting event of them all, the World Cup Finals. And hasn't this stadium been a wonderful host today?
Yeah, it's one of the best stadiums I've ever seen. Couldn't believe the size of it when we come in. Has to be the biggest screen I've ever seen inside a stadium.
It kind of looms large on the horizon from quite some distance away, doesn't it?
Tell you what, made me hungry as well, seeing all the snacks everywhere. Food and drink, unbelievable.
Oh, there's been a few quid spent in here today, or should I say a few dollars.
And I think in that little sub with Ake, they've gone to a back 5, try and see the results out.
Ake on the left, Van Dijk in the middle, Van Hecker on the right of that 5-man defensive unit now that Owen's just pointed out. That
back line that was big and it just got bigger.
In steps Van Dijk. Here's De Jong, played on towards Memphis Depay. Defended there by Shogo Taniguchi. We're going to see some more Japanese changes. There's quite a lot of activity on their bench right below our commentary position here in Dallas. Eight minutes left. 2-1 Netherlands. Ake beaten in the air by Ito, who quickly picks himself up to get onto that second ball and win the throw-in. That's good play from Ito down this side.
Yeah, fresh, sharp, coming off the bench, have a big impact. That's what the manager wants.
Crossed in by Tomiyasu, cleared away by Van Dijk. That's a foul by Memphis Depay. That's crazy. I mean, he's just given away an easy free kick, and he's got a yellow card as well.
Yeah, I don't think Ronald Koeman's happy. Just gesture for somebody to come off the bench. He's only been on 10 or 15 minutes. He made a couple of mistakes. He's got to be careful there, Memphis. Not playing the ball.
So he's going to replace his centre forward here. Moriyasu, the Japanese coach. Kento Shiogai is coming on. He's only 21. 2 caps so far for his country. 1 in the win against England and another one in the win against Scotland. Oh, this is club football in Germany for Wolfsburg. And he's gone right into the thick of it here with 7 minutes left to play. Memphis Depay, Frankie de Jong, free kick for the Dutch.
It's no point in pressing Frankie de Jong. He could get himself out of a vault, I think. Unbelievable.
Number 18, Ayase Bue, is being replaced by number 26.
Well, there's a very physical player coming on here for the Netherlands. They're going to take off Cody Gakpo and send on Brian Brobby, who had a really strong season in the Premier League for a Sunderland team who qualified for Europe next season. Didn't play in qualifying. This is the first time he's played for his country since March of 2025. But if you want a bit of size, a bit of desire, and someone who's really going to work out those Japanese defenders physically, it's Brian Brobby.
I'll tell you what, Ronald Koeman, he watched Memphis lose that ball there, and you made a change instantly. He wants Brian Brobby to stay up, keep the ball. Memphis Depay drop in and play a little bit deeper. He's not messing Ronald Koeman, is he? One touch, that's it. Swap it.
There's the first physical battle he's up against. Taniguchi is certainly going to know he's in the game now.
He is a handful, isn't he?
Oh, right.
Brian Brobby.
Yes. If he played in the NFL, he'd be a fullback or somebody like middle linebacker, I don't know. He's a big old boy. He's almost as tall as he is wide.
And to be fair, yeah, fantastic season. Sunderland runs the channels. Technically, he's got the lot.
Ito to Sugawara. Great noise inside the stadium. 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Netherlands 2-1 up. Great goal to get them ahead from Somerville. There's de Jong.
Keep crossing it, don't they?
Kamada was battling.
That's the one.
Nakamura. In goes the cross. It's going to fall here for Ito. He can chip one back in and Van Dijk can head it away. Captain's header from Van Dijk. Shiogai was very, very nearly onto that cross in from Nakamura.
Yeah,
Owen.
and you can cross it low, you can pass it. That's the one, but not up in the air. They've got to keep the ball on the ground. That's their advantage. They've got a good bit of momentum now.
Over goes Tomiyasu. Free kick to Japan, who are finishing the game very strongly.
Yeah, they look fresh. Made some good subs.
So Junya Ito is over the Japanese free kick. Time running out for them. Everybody back defensively apart from Memphis Depay for the Netherlands. Headed away by Brobby. Hiroki Ito. This time it's Mickey van der Ven underneath, a high ball into the Dutch penalty area. Tomiyasu.
They're too deep. No, they've got to get out.
Ito's been a real threat down the right since coming on. That's nice from Kamada. Good defending though by Van der Ven, but they'll get the corner.
Yeah, better football.
Been a cracking second half.
Yeah, really good. Ito's been terrific since he's come on. Nice little 1-2. Kamada, Van der Ven's too quick.
Ito to take the corner. No respite for the Dutch, hanging on to this lead. Away by de Jong. Do the Japanese players think they're taller than they actually are because they persist on crossing it straight onto the heads of the Dutch defenders?
Yeah, I don't mind a low cross. I think that's fine. But they've got to play football, get it down and play, pass and move.
That's a lovely pass, brilliant. Ito in behind. Great defending. Look how many they got around the ball there, the Netherlands. What a pass, though. Dumfries it was who made the block.
Fletch, every time they get it on the deck and play, they create moments, make runs in behind. Really good defending.
Ito again. Surely they've got to go short. Try and play their way in. You watch, they'll score from this one now. I've said that.
This, Chris.
Oh, they have as well! They have scored! I called it! Astonishing! 2-2! What a moment for Japan! And didn't you just know that was going to happen?
What a brilliant ball in. Well, it takes a deflection off Kamada, I think. Don't think Verbruggen could see it. Don't think he knows anything about it, really. It's so difficult for him.
It's Koko Ogawa with a massive goal for Japan off the bench. 2-2, and we're level again in Dallas.
Wow. They were pushing, weren't they, Fletch? They had that momentum.
Can I just apologise to every Japanese player down there, because that's why they were crossing it into the Dutch box. What? Because eventually they were going to get a goal.
Yeah, look, they got the numbers in there. It was Kamada. Just at the end.
Oh, the referee's now taken Ito out. Oh, my word.
That's a yellow card.
Gotta be a yellow for the ref.
Can the ref get a yellow?
Well, he certainly stopped a promising attack, didn't he?
Yeah. To be fair, I was in the gym this morning. Seen loads of the refs there. They were working out, so
yeah, they're all flexing, weren't they, when you saw them?
I think the refs in my day were in the gym. They were all hitting the weights.
What a fantastic second half this has been.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Two very good teams down there, by the way.
You just read my mind. Two good managers. I think the subs for Japan had a huge impact on the game.
So 6 minutes of additional time. I'd take 66 minutes at this. It's been fantastic. Ito, hasn't he had a good 20 minutes here down the right side?
He normally starts. You know, I'm sure he'll be starting the next game.
Yellow for Van de Ven.
They just dropped off the Netherlands, didn't they, with the subs? They got a little bit too deep. They never got out to the ball anymore.
If anybody's going to win the game now, you feel it might be Japan, you know.
Well, with all the subs, they just, you know, I don't think they have that attacking output at the moment, Netherlands. They've had so much more the ball, Japan, in this second half. First
Unbelievable.
half, they were so passive.
So Nakamura and Kamada for Japan. And Virgil van Dijk and Somerville for the Netherlands. Can somebody find a winner in what remains of this excellent Group F match here in Dallas? I think in the excitement of it, I gave Ogawa the goal, and it was Kamada who got there in between them to put it in.
Well, no, you're right with the first header, but Kamada got a flick.
Little flick, yeah. And by the way, the fact that he has scored, what a way to mark his 50th cap for his country. So credit where credit's due, and these two teams have served up an absolutely brilliant second half in Dallas.
Oh, Kamada's got into the habit of winning some trophies, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
At Crystal Palace, absolutely brilliant spell with Oliver Glasner.
Ake. Van Dijk. Frenkie de Jong. Everybody back for Japan. De Jong. Crossed in by Dumfries. They're all running in orange. And it's headed behind by Koopmeiners. They're chest bumping and all sorts now, the Japanese defenders.
Yeah.
There's the header by Ogawa that was just helped on its way by Kamada. I think he wants it to be his goal, Ogawa.
Yeah, he'd love it. They just had a bit more urgency. And I think once Somerville went off Fletch for the Netherlands, it just feels like they stopped attacking. They were happy to see out the game. And I don't think that ever works. You just invite pressure. In the first half, Japan only had 30% of the ball. In the second half, they've had 55. That's a huge difference.
So the Dutch have led twice. And on both occasions, Japan have found the answer.
I think on the balance of the game, though, you'd have to say it's probably fair.
Yeah.
It's about fair.
And I think, as we suspected before the game kicked off, it's going to take a good team come the knockout stages to beat either of these. We've seen enough evidence today to suggest that they can have a big impact, both of them, on this World Cup.
Yeah, different styles, but again, great point, Fletch. They're going to be hard to beat.
2 minutes of the additional time left. Van